What is a mixtape? In the streaming era, that's a really valid question because there is no difference between a mixtape and an album, right? They're both just a collection of songs that appear on DSPs. There was a time when it seemed like there was a valuable distinction in the digital music era when DatPiff was popular and as a place to distribute music freely, and it was a collection of songs that was self-produced and independently released versus an album which had some sort of industrial backing. But now all music is free. So what's the difference? And I don't know, I'm not really interested in answering that question, but the new Future mixtape is called Mixtape Pluto. So Future really wants to call your attention to the fact that it's a mixtape. Why would he do this? I think it's because Future has some great mixtapes. The first thing that came to mind when I heard Mixtape Pluto is that he might be tapping back into Monster energy. Monster is my favorite full-length Future project, along with probably a lot of other fans. And because it feels like it really defines his whole ethos. It's sad and raw and personal, and but also just full of creative decisions, interesting flows, cloud rap type production, as well as hard trap music and a lot of like really effective flexing. It's good. Monster is fantastic. If you have any takeaway from this video, listen to Monster if you haven't already. And I think that was kind of where a lot of Future fans' heads were at when Mixtape Pluto was announced, because I saw a lot of hype for this mixtape. And you know, he released the cover art, and it's of the dungeon house where a lot of really influential Atlanta rappers and producers first met and kind of got their start as underground artists, which was Rico Wade's mom's house. Rico Wade is Future's cousin, who was kind of a really influential connector in the Atlanta rap scene. Rest in peace to Rico Wade. So everything was indicating that Mixtape Pluto is going to be a return to form of some kind. Future kind of tapping back into his roots a little bit. So the next logical question is, what is a return to form for Future? His style never really changed. Like, it's not that he's not versatile. He is, you know, he slides between like pure gangster rap shit and R&B music pretty seamlessly. But it's not like he really has eras, right? Future's music has not really evolved meaningfully ever in his career. So the hype for this mixtape was a little perplexing. Even more perplexing was how many reactions I saw that were like, oh, finally, Mixtape Pluto is coming. I didn't know Mixtape Pluto was even a thing until like a few days before it came out. But some fans were like, oh my God, finally, like he'd been teasing this forever. And it's like, this is Future's third full-length project this year. He must have like 70 songs out this year. Like that second Metro Boomin album was long as hell. Like, are Future fans okay? It just, I think it kind of shows to go that, like, even if you're really productive and really prolific as an artist, fans are always just going to be demanding more of you. So, fuck them. Yeah, so I got a little bit excited for Mixtape Pluto, and then as soon as I turned it on and heard the first track, Teflon Don, I felt a little silly for being excited. Because again, what could I possibly expect from a return to form from Future? Like, he's been making like sad flex music that's really drugged out and woozy his whole career, and that's been all of it. So like, what was I expecting? I am Michael Bluth opening the paper bag with a dead bird, not knowing what I was expecting to see in the first place. It's not a bad album. It's not a bad mixtape. Very sorry, but it's nothing special. And I won't bother boring you with the track level details, but I will tell you the highlights for me. Teflon Don, the opener, has like a kind of basic opera sample going on. I think it's the Godfather soundtrack he's sampling, and he locks into this really good flow on it with the vanini shanini stuff. This track has 7 producer credits, by the way, which is crazy. Future put out 2 albums with Metro Boomin earlier this year. This one is mostly produced by Southside, but not exclusively, so it's not really a producer team up album. It's a pure Future mixtape. He has a new ad-lib, Ski, saying ski all the time, which in high school I remember people saying ski all the time. This isn't really Future, come on. You used to be the fresh one. Now like, you're reusing stale slang, whatever. And the second track, Little Demon, is a true highlight. The Master sounds really shitty, which is a really good sign for a Future song. And I like how there's one track of him rapping and another just unbroken track of ad-libs, so it sounds like Future's rapping, and then there's another version of Future just like standing in the background hyping him up. It's cute, and it's a good track, and the beat is minimal as shit. It's just one drony chord over and over again, and I think it sounds pretty cool. On the track Ready to Cook Up, on the chorus he says, "I'm getting a certain amount of cash." I like that. The track Plutoski is everyone's least favorite, and it is my favorite because I'm a contrarian. And also, so the chorus, the beat is pretty basic. It's just a dark string sample, but the chorus is completely unintelligible, and it's him going, he's making these really weird, like, I can only describe it as like a overdosing goat. And it makes you think, what is he doing? This is so sick. This is amazing. Sorry, I do love it. I noticed that there's a lot of, I can't think of any examples outside of this mixtape, but there's a handful of like ocean motif stuff on this mixtape, and it feels like that's a common motif that shows up in Future's lyrics, and the ocean often a stand-in for like how deep things go, like how deep his emotions go, how deep his past goes, how deep his money goes, so on and so on. So there's this track Ocean that is, it has a cool intro where it sounds like it's going to be a rage track, but then the intro drops out and it just gets kind of boring. And it's a sweet, sad, heartfelt song about losing friends to gang violence. And it ends with the line, "Realest shit ever said, no punchline." And Future, it's a cool moment where it's like, yeah, Future doesn't really use any punchlines. He just gets out there and says real shit, So that one's good. Surfin' a Tsunami is a really popular highlight. It's a really cool cloud rap beat. It's got this like super like long crescendo drone thing going on that really gives it a lot of weight and gravity. And again, the weird mixing really elevates it. And again, more ocean motifs. And he says, she charging more for the pussy now. That's my fault. I like that flex. And one other track I'll point out is Told My, which is mostly just kind of standard, but then in the middle, it just breaks out into a random Koopsta sample, which I thought was a cool kind of shout out moment. And it made me realize that, you know, again, the cover of this mixtape is the dungeon, which seems to gesture toward like the lineage, and that this is going to be, you know, kind of paying respect to the Atlanta rap scene that formed him way back when. But this album mixtape, my God, there is a difference, guys. This mixtape doesn't really seem to have a lot to say about that lineage. It doesn't feature anyone, period. So no features on the album. So no Atlanta artists showing up and doing their thing. And this random Koopsta sample is like, oh yeah, Future is kind of an old head in a way. But like, whatever. But yeah, would I recommend this mixtape? Not really. If you're a big Future fan, then listen to it, but you probably already would anyway. Yeah, it's Future needs to chill out for a little while and get back in the zone, I think, to make something as generational as a Monster or a DS2. Not that he needs to at this point. He already had a storied career. But yeah, I hope that we can get like classic era mixtape energy from Future again sometime. But this isn't it, so.